right, this is Live Drive. I'm in Venice, Florida, and I'm heading back towards town, towards Fort Myers. And I got to work later today to produce the drive show. And I just saw my family member up here, and things are going well, as best can be expected, I guess. And I'm basically heading on right now to go, like I said, to head back towards home. Basically, pretty nice day here in Fort Myers. It's a little warm. We're getting late in summer, but for us it is definitely still summer. We're going to get up to 93, I think, today. So it's still quite summer here. I know a lot of places already have cool nights and pleasant days, but not here. This is we're pretty far south. We're south of Tampa now, and we're going to be heading even further south. Oh boy. So yeah, we're heading back towards 41. It's telling me that the interstate is a little bit quicker, but that doesn't matter because when I'm doing live drives, I don't drive on the interstate because it's just too boring. I mean, it's what are you gonna do? It's boring. So what I generally do is I'll take a drive back through and a different area or whatever. Today I'm just going to be heading over to 41 and heading back straight down. On this drive, how every piece of land in Florida is being cleared right now. They need so many houses in so many days, and that's the bottom line. We've got a number of people moving here every day, and that number is growing. A lot of places in the country, their housing market has gone stale, in some places even bad. Here it's fine. We're actually a little short on inventory on some kinds of property, which is interesting. Other parts of the country are overloaded with inventory in those same areas, like single-family rental. Down here right now, there's a demand, and they're building them as quick as they can build them. Yep, this is kind of a rural area here out in east of Venice, basically. I gotta say once again, this whole process of putting a loved one in a nursing home is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You would think that there would be someone that could help you with this process, but there's not. Even the people at the facilities, at the different facilities that are supposed to help you with these problems, generally speaking, aren't a lot of help. And it's always surprising to me how people do things like run a nursing home or whatever, and you just assume that everybody else knows what's going on, and it's like it doesn't work that way. When someone needs a nursing home, this lady handed me a list of nursing homes. She goes, here's a list. There's 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. She goes, they're listed by the order of the distance from this facility. And all she did was just type it into Google and print me out a list off of Google, a list that I could have got off Google. I'm like, is this doing your job, lady? Really? Is this it? Doing your job? And so what we ended up doing was
continue for 1.5 miles. Continue on Center Road for 1.5 miles.
She basically told me, here's what you need to do. You need to go to some of these places and see if it's something that you want, if it's a place you want to go to. She goes, pick like 5 or 6 of them that you would like to put her in, and then go visit them. And in the meantime, I'll send your information to all of them so they have it. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. She goes, yeah, but that's how we do it. Just, pick out 5 or 6 of them and go check them out. I'm like, oh, okay. So we picked out 5 or 6 of them, and I handed her back the list. I said, here's the 6 we're going to go check out. She says, oh, okay, very good. So we drive the next day. We drive all the way down to South Fort Myers. The first one we go to, my aunt and I, the first one we walk into, they tell us, oh, we're only a 14-day care facility like the place that she's in now. We can't take her. You could only do that once. Oh, so this woman sent me to another place that does the same thing they do, where they have to get rid of you within 14 days. So then the next one we go to, we get in there, we fill out all the paperwork. Everybody's really nice. The lady goes, oh, your mom's health insurance is not in our network. I'm like, I had no idea we were even dealing with networks. I don't know what's going on here. So it's a big mess. And I go to 5 different places, and after I'm done, I go back up there to see her. And I said, look, I went on your wild goose chase today. None of these places that I handed you the list that had the 6 numbers on it. None of the 6 places will take my mother. None of them.
Turn left on the
So what am I supposed to do? Tell me exactly what I'm supposed to do, because I told the lady, I said, I don't know what to do. I said, am I just literally supposed to go and try some more facilities, go to 5 more? I said, I said, I'll spend the next week doing this. I said, should I just sit at home and on the phone and start calling them? And she says, yeah, you could try that. She really just didn't give a shit, right? So then she called me back and she says, hey, I've got your mom locked into a place in Punta Gorda. I'm like, oh, okay. So we started talking to him, and she says, here, go up and check it out. So I drive 25 miles up to Punta Gorda, and I walk in there to check it out. And what I'm being told basically is this is the way it is. She says, we have a place for, go down. And so I drive to the place, and I walk in and I meet with the woman, and she's real nice, and I'm talking to her, and she's like, oh, okay, well, let me get the information that they sent me. So she goes back in her office, she comes back out, she goes, yeah, your mom's insurance is not in our plan. And I'm like, what? I said, they told me this was a lock. She says, no, it's not. I don't know why they would tell you that. So I'm like, this is ridiculous. So then she says, well, I can get her into our sister facility in Venice. I said, ma'am, this facility is already 40 minutes away from all of us. I said, now you're talking about making it double that, and it's an hour and 20 minutes now away for all of her family to come see her. I think it's important that we get her closer to home. Well, that's all we can do until we switch her insurance to something else. Then once we switch her insurance, we can get her back in the Port Charlotte location. So that's literally what we're dealing with right now. We've had to put her in a facility that's almost 100 miles away because of they won't take her insurance.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto West Villages.
And apparently it's like managed care, it's called. I can tell you guys something. It's been our experience that a managed care plan is not as good as just having a standard Medicare plan. So take that for what you will. I don't know anything about it. I don't even believe in insurance. Everybody pays all this big money every year for insurance. You insure your house, your car, your business. Some people even have insurance on their kids' health. Everybody has insurance on everything. And the bottom line is that insurance will never make you whole. You'll still be the victim. No matter what happens, you will still be victimized. You will still not be made whole. And I don't know. It's ridiculous. The whole insurance thing is just a scam. Now, if you owe $300,000 on a house, you probably need to have insurance. But I own my house and it's not worth near that, so I don't bother.
Continue on State Route 777 for 1.5 miles.
Big, huge cookie cutter community on the right up there. There's a lot of those down here. I'll never understand what it is about people wanting to live in prescribed communities. I'll never understand it. I mean, do people really walk into a room and say, I want to live somewhere where my house looks exactly the same as all my neighbors' houses, and I want to live somewhere where there's a bunch of old Karens that meet once a month to figure out how they can keep everybody all in line and all under wraps and all conforming with what they're supposed to be conforming with. And I can't believe there's people that elect to live in homeowners associations. I moved into one in 1992. I bought a condo, and it was a homeowners association, but they were real nice. I signed the papers. I moved in. I put up what antennas I wanted to put up. I parked what cars I wanted to park. Everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, the old folks moved down from New Jersey and New York and Ohio and Michigan. And they moved down.
Turn left onto US 41 South Tamiami Trail.
They moved down here, and they immediately all start running for the board because they got all day long. They're not like me. I don't have all day long. I'm on a time crunch, but these people are not, and they got all day long, and they can run for the board and do whatever it is they want to do. And so they end up getting all the board members within 2 years. All the board members have been completely switched out to a bunch of old curmudgeons from up north. They went in and they changed everything. They outlawed dogs. They outlawed cats. They outlawed commercial vehicles. They outlawed anything outside your house. They just went into Gestapo mode, because what they do, they move down here. They buy something that it's a working class neighborhood, a working class area. They buy it, and then the first thing they do is run all those scumbag working class types out, and because all they really want to deal with is just older people that are going to take better care of their place, because they want their property values to go up. Yeah, I hate HOAs. Let me see, Casey. Yeah, I don't sing. That's one thing we won't do. Yeah, I don't sing, dude. I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry. I don't. You wouldn't want it anyway. Trust me, it would be bad. But happy birthday for sure. I'm not a big birthday guy, but I'll certainly identify it when my friends have a birthday.
Continue on US 41 South for 5 miles.
When you get to be my age, birthdays are simply just benchmarks, and you're running out of those. So, yeah. And yes, I use the term we a lot, because when I started this channel, it was a we. When I started this channel, I had a wife and a friend that were both working the channel with me and working their own channels, and we built a studio, mostly me, but we built a studio, and they both left and moved away. So now I'm basically on my own doing this channel, completely on my own, and it's going okay. I've been challenged with the numbers. We figured out why. We figured out what we have to do, and we've already made the changes. We've moved all of the non-manned, non-hosted shows over to my sister channel, Starship After Dark. And then we kept all we're doing on this channel, Starship Adventures. The only thing we do on here is our 9 p.m. studio show. Studio shows on breaking news. Of course, live drives like this. Anytime I'm doing a hosted show. So now you can turn off the notifications for Starship After Dark and turn on the notifications for Starship Adventures, and now you'll only get bothered by my alerts when I'm actually going live. a radar or something. No, when I'm going live, that's the only time you'll get alerts if you only turn the bell on for the Starship Adventures site. There's a post explaining all this on both of the sites right now, on both of those YouTube channels, and on Discord. I had the COVID 2 weeks ago. I still don't feel right. I didn't lose taste of food this time, but it still doesn't quite taste right. It's different. I did get most of that back. I lost the taste of food for a little while. It was kind of weird, and it caused me to be an oversalter, unfortunately. I got to where I was putting so much Everglades seasoning on everything, I was making myself sick. But finally it came back. I did get it back, and I don't think I've lost it this last time, but I don't feel perfect either. Just like the last, I've only had COVID 3 times in the 6 years it's been around. I've only had it 3 times, and this time it hit me hard. It went through my work, and just like the last 2 times, I'm at the point where I just feel like crap all the time. I'm everything. I'm congested. My sinuses are impacted. I'm run down. There's just a lot of things going on, and I know from experience that I'm just going to literally have to live through this. I just have to deal with the symptoms. Fatigue is the biggest thing. It always gets me how fatigued I get after a big cold or flu like this. I'm just very, very tired. I'm yawning right now. It's one of the reasons I'm doing this live drive is because I'm so freaking tired. I was going to just take the interstate and fly home at 90 miles an hour, but the truth is I really shouldn't do that. I need to just go on, get on this road, so it'll help keep me awake, and then I'll have you guys help keep me awake. There's not many folks in, but I do appreciate you guys that are in. Junior, how's it going today, buddy? The numbers were up slightly last night, and I bet you they're up slightly again tonight. I think that by moving all those streams, I think this is going to fix our problem, and we'll be back off to the races again. On YouTube, most people have to put in all the hard work. That's all algorithms are. Algorithms try to make sure that everybody has to put in the hard work. Is it foolproof? No, because you know what happened. You know what'll happen? Someone will have the right video at the right time, and they'll instantly go viral, and they'll have everything. They'll have it made, and never have had to actually work it. Those channels generally fail. They'll become really popular, and the person doesn't follow through with the monetization, or the person doesn't continue after they become successful. They don't continue putting out quality content. If I were to walk away from YouTube just for 5 days, just 5 days, when I got back, I wouldn't get anybody come in. They really, when you walk away from YouTube for 5, 6, 7 days in a row and you don't do anything, they punish you. You really get algorithmically disadvantaged. Let me just put it that way. I am so tired. Oh, there's Taco Bell. I ate there the other day. I eat a lot of Taco Bell. Probably more than my colon can handle at this point. Oh, for God's sake. Give him
At the
hell.
light, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto South Sumter Boulevard.
I'm always
Continue on
surprised.
South Sumter Boulevard for 4 miles.
I'm always surprised
Continue
at
on US 41 South
the
for
number
5
of people
miles.
out there that just literally drive around with their head up their ass. They don't even know what's going on around them. Yep. All right, so what else is going on in the world? Boy, I'll tell you what, and I'm not going to talk about this, I keep seeing these people celebrating the assassination of a man. An outspoken man that had decent values and was a Christian and didn't do anything wrong other than espouse his views to others. And he was brutally murdered in front of his wife and 2 kids and 3,000 people. Then we've got these people all over the country that are celebrating his death. They're celebrating an assassination, a political assassination. I didn't think we did that in this country. I really didn't. I'm surprised. I'm a little beside myself at the amount of nastiness and vitriol and just absolute bullshit that we've seen out of folks. There's no reason to act like that. There just isn't. What we need is civility, and we need everybody. If you don't like the guy and you're glad he's dead, just keep it to yourself. All right. And I think what I'm really having a hard time with, and we had this yesterday on my commercial radio show that we do. People keep coming on and saying, I don't believe people should be fired. I don't believe people should be fired from the job. It's free speech. It's free speech. I don't think people should be fired from the job. It's free speech. Well, here's a news flash for anybody that doesn't already know this. The free speech does not protect you. The Constitution does not protect you from your boss. It doesn't protect you from the policy manual at your work. It doesn't protect you from your boss changing his opinion about you because of something stupid you said. That being said, the Constitution of the United States does not protect you at all from your boss. It just doesn't. And so I'm kind of sick of hearing that. What about the First Amendment? Your boss can't fire you. What about the First Amendment? Doesn't apply. It's irrelevant. The First Amendment, the Constitution of the United States, does one function. It protects a citizen from the citizen's government. That's what the Constitution does. It doesn't say that you can carry guns in supermarkets. It says you have the right to bear arms, and then each state decides what's reasonable. And it's the same thing with everything. I just can't believe the number of people that are just celebrating, happy. They took 2 pilots out of a Delta aircraft, I think it was Delta, out of a commercial airliner because they were celebrating it. We've had 9 teachers that are going to get fired down here in my area. 9 teachers in Lee County alone that are getting fired because they were celebrating his death in front of their students. What is wrong with us as a country? What the F is wrong with us as a country? If you don't like the guy, just don't like the guy. It doesn't matter. But to celebrate his killing of a political assassin's bullet is crazy to me. It's bizarre to me, and I just have to be outspoken about it. I can go through this whole conversation without even mentioning if I like or don't like Charlie Kirk. It has nothing to do with that. Because I don't think it has anything to do with that when people say that they want him, that they're glad he's dead. I'm having a real hard time with that. Because I got news for you, no matter what side I'm on, there's no one I want dead on the other side. No one. And anybody that does want that is un-American. Un-American, period. And so, yeah, this one's stuck in my craw. I'm having a real hard time with the whole Charlie Kirk thing. Not as much. I mean, I do. I actually like the guy. He was a moderate. I think that's the part that a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people are saying things about Charlie Kirk now that don't know anything about Charlie Kirk. One of the things I've been hearing lately is he's a radical. You know, he's not a radical. He's a Christian conservative. He's not a radical. He's never been on the far right about anything. He's just firmly on the right. He's evangelical. He's someone that believes in God and believes in country and believes in the Constitution. But all this other crap I don't know about. I'm hearing all kinds of stuff about him and about this, and you know what we're finding out? It's all crap. It's all crap. I think that was a dummy car, but that's a real one over there on the left. I can't believe in today's society we're still out doing traffic stops on the side of the road. They're the most dangerous thing a cop does, and yet they still do them all the time. Why? Because that's how they power trip on people. Yep. So anyway, I just wanted to make that clear to everybody. It was a point that I made on the air last night. And I think I just think it's really, really important to understand right off the bat that that this whole thing with Charlie Kirk has started something. And I don't even know what to call it. You know, his group was called Turning Point USA, and what he talked about all the time was the fact that this is our chance. This is the turning point in the country. Once we get enough of the young involved in conservative politics, we will begin to win all the elections and the Democrat Party will cease to function. That's basically the bottom line, guys. And the only reason that the left has anything right now is because of the indoctrination in schools. So with all that indoctrination going on in schools, we have to get in there and even that up. And this is one of the things that evens that up, is Turning Point USA. And they've gotten over 18,000 requests for people to chapters, not just join, but start chapters in their high school, their college, their trade school, their university. That is incredible to me. Absolutely incredible to me. We need that. All right, we are in Port Charlotte now. This is Port Charlotte. We just went through Murdoch Circle, and the big mall is over there to the right. Mall's not doing all that good. It's a smaller mall, and it's at about 60% occupancy. But it's doing better, actually. It's been a little bit of a surge in there, so we're hoping for the best. The mall in Sebring may close. It's not doing well at all. It's at about 30% capacity, and it's like a ghost town in there. But the Edison Mall is at 90% capacity. They've got 3 or 4 middle-sized stores open and a few small ones. But they've got one anchor. Their largest anchor site is open right now too. So I guess they're probably at about maybe 85 or 90% there at the Edison Mall. The one here in Punta Gorda, I don't know, 80% or something. I don't know. But the malls, just like the malls everywhere, the malls down here are kind of taking a beating right now because of a number of different things. Number one, your discount centers. I gotta tell you guys, I would never buy clothes at the mall. Oh my God. Every time I get into a lane, it becomes the slow lane. I would never buy clothes in the mall. They're entirely too expensive. I can get just as nice a clothes at Walmart and buy them for a fraction of the price. I also buy a lot of my clothes at Habitat for Humanity as well, because they have a great selection of hardly used, hardly worn clothes that you can get for pennies. And so that's where, like, the mall is about 50% mercantile, like that, like clothing. And I don't get it, because really I don't know where they plan to go with all that, the clothing, because every year it gets cheaper to buy your clothing at Walmart, and it seems to get more expensive to buy your clothing in the mall. And I walked through that mall, and it's that what I call the Kohl's business model, where they actually just keep marking things down until you finally buy it. They'll take something in, they mark it up 1,000%. Now you think I'm lying? I'm not. They buy something for like $3. That's what head office buys it for, and it's shipped in via a shipping container into the shipping loading for that particular distributor, and then it gets distributed to that mall or however it works. And the bottom line of the whole thing is well, hold on just a second. The bottom line is the malls cannot provide the mercantile for the same price that it can be provided for at a Walmart. Then you got your other things in there. You got a food court, which is great, I guess. It's kind of struggling, but it's there. There's about 4 spots in there that are constantly flipping over. And then you've also got like cell phone repair places. The biggest waste of money in the mall is the sheriff actually has a storefront in there. I don't know exactly what he does in there. I know he wastes money in there. I know that. I got that part figured out. But they have this it just is stupid, you know? What a waste. Anyway, there's everything from a singing church in there to different kinds of foreign-made desserts and things like that. Edison Mall is actually a pretty nice mall, comparatively speaking. Yep, we are southbound on US 41. Up here comes the fire truck. We are southbound on 41, and we are heading for Fort Myers. We are currently in Port Charlotte. We'll be in Punta Gorda soon. And there's Charlotte County Firehouse Station number 1. Believe it or not, I stood watching that house. We were up here on a brush fire, and they canceled us off the brush fire and sent us to Station 1 for coverage. I covered Station 9 a bunch of times, and even Station 6 once, but to come all the way over here to their main station and cover that was pretty cool. So we backed our engine in there, and we responded to 2 medical calls while we were there. It was pretty cool, and it was a unique opportunity to be able to stand watch in another county's fire station number 1. So that was kind of neat. All right, let me check the chat here. Yeah, I prefer all cotton t-shirts. They're a little hard to find. Oh, wow. There you go. 155. What'd you say it was? 155, 490. My fire department was 154, 530. And 154, 235 was the other fire channel. And Yeah, I'm an amateur radio operator. I'm sure most of you know that by now. And the frequencies are something I get into. I was a full-time firefighter. I was a lieutenant most of the time. I was a training officer for my department, but I also worked part-time at the dispatch center. I was an AMD trained dispatcher, and I would go work hours and hours in there. I loved doing that. And then I was auxiliary with the sheriff's department. I was never a full-time cop, but I was a sworn officer. I did it for 8 years, and I'll be honest, it became a little distasteful to me. I realized that some of the guys I worked with were really good people trying to do a really good job. Some of the guys I worked with were real pieces of shit. And that and the wasteful spending and everything else, I just walked away from government after so many years. I worked for 20 years in government total. And I got up one day and I walked away. I'm like, I quit. And I went and drove a wrecker. I mean, that's the job I ended up in. It was immediate. They immediately needed me. So I was able to start right away with one day of training, and I could start making money. So that's what I did. I literally went out and started driving a wrecker out around. But they offered me a early buyout on my retirement, and I took it. I took it because there's just no way I was going to stay that much longer. See, we were on private retirement, right? And I had been there 17 years, and we were on a private retirement system which used tax deeds and different things as the investment vehicle. And then what ended up happening, believe it or not, the state came in and said, look, everybody's going to have to upgrade next year from private retirement to state retirement. We're going to make it mandatory even for small departments. Used to be only big departments had to join the state system. Small departments could have their own little system or whatever, which was not good for the guys, but it was good for the departments. Anyway, so I ended up taking an early retirement. I stayed on part-time for about a year afterwards to keep all the philanthropy going. But it really sucks because, they offered me an out and I took it because, I mean, what are you going to do, right? My back's shot. It hurts every day. And I can't do anything about my back problems with the fire department because I had to lie to them for years and tell them that my back was perfectly fine. And that way I was able to continue working. I had to go in every year, and the doctor would ask me every year, so how's the back injury? Oh, it's not bad at all. I haven't really felt anything since the last time we talked. I was lying my ass off. I was standing there with 5 minutes. He's asking me to do without screwing him up. All I cared about was staying on the road. I had been promoted to lieutenant like 6 months earlier. I was involved in an explosion in 1992, and it destroyed my back. And then I lied about it for 10 years to stay on the job, 12 years. I literally would go in there and tell him, oh yeah, I can do this. I can move this way. I can move this way. Everything's fine. And the truth is, I'd eat a whole handful of Advil and literally bite my tongue through the whole thing. Because I had to work. I wanted to work. I just made lieutenant. I went to officer's school. I really wanted it. And I did. I was able to work my way all the way up to fire chief. I was deputy chief for a while. I was a captain for a short time. It's funny, the rank of captain was the rank I was the least. I was a lieutenant for like 10 years. I was a firefighter and an engineer before that. And then after all 10 years doing that, then I started getting more into the administration there and started taking promotions. And you know what the frustrating part is? You become the chief of the department, right? And you still realize there's not really much you can fix. and what you want to fix, everybody's going to fight you on it. They're not going to just fix it. They're going to fight you. I just hate the whole thing. All right, let's see who we got going. Let's see, what are we talking about? Heath, you are a moderator. You're coming up blue with a wrench. I would not do that to you. Going to be probably seeing you in November, going to the Hamfest, I think. I'm going to talk to you about it. No, you are still blue with a wrench. I don't know why it's not showing up on your end. No, it shouldn't make a difference. I'm showing you as Heath and your last name, and then and it shows blue with a wrench. Junior shows blue with a wrench.
There were police reported ahead.
Yeah, there's always police ahead. Keeps wrong with it. I buy this expensive phone with 5G, and it just can't stay connected. I'm not even in that rural area. All right, let's see here. The one-legged waitress at IHOP. Have you spoke to an attorney? I'm not sure what that's about. Dickies. I wear all Dickie pants. When I ran my paranormal group, we all wore Dickie shirts. I'm a big fan of Dickie. Their work gear is amazing. I have like 4 pairs of their black pants, and that's what I wear to work every day. Yeah. I've had khakis before from Dickies, but the truth is, I'm on well water. I live out in the woods a little bit. I get pants really dirty. It's like me to come home from work and crawl under something and start working on it. I'm very bad about that with pants. Shirts, I'm a little better. If I've got on a nice work shirt, even one I paid $8 for, I'm still going to take it off and either, not wear a shirt or wear a t-shirt. But when it comes to my pants, I wear them all the time. Whether I'm fixing plumbing or I'm broadcasting, I'm wearing them all the time. So I don't buy khakis. I generally buy black ones. Yep. Yeah, I find the Dickie pants, they're available at Walmart. They're under $25 for a nice pair of slacks. They were under $20 till COVID, but everything in the last 5 years has damn near doubled because of several reasons we won't get into. But yeah, $20, $25, not bad for a nice pair of pants, and they're thick. They're like work pants. They're not jeans, but yet they're very tough like jeans. This pair I have on right now actually has double reinforced knees. So I mean, they're nice. They're great for whatever you want to wear them for. And like I said, even my paranormal, I had button-down shirts. My biggest problem with people a lot of times is people just look sloppy all the time. And when I got my paranormal research group going, I wanted them to look nice. So instead of buying t-shirts, I bought Dickie uniform shirts and had them embroidered with the full colored embroidered logo on the front. I still have about 10 or 15 of those shirts. I still wear them every now and then. If we're going to go do anything that has to do with ghosts, I still put one on. I had even thought about making a patch for Starship Adventures that will just fit over the top of the embroidery on there. And that way I could take some of those shirts I have and repurpose them. But I don't mind wearing them with the Florida Paranormal Research logo on them. Had those for years. Oh, good. Is it working now? All right. Yep, I'm a ham radio operator, WNHK. Oh my God, I just gave the call sign for my old fire department. I am so tired, you can tell. KO4EFS is my call sign, and my GMRS call sign, I'd have to look it up because I don't say it very often. I mostly got a GMRS call sign because none of the people I know have ham radio licenses, so I wanted to be able to talk to them on my radios. So I went ahead and got a GMRS license. You could hand one of those to your friend or your family, and it's legal. So where ham radio is not, you can only allow them to talk if they're not talking to you, and you are sitting next to them while they talk. That's the only way someone who's not a licensed ham can use a ham radio. So it precludes you legally. Now, nobody's ever going to catch you, but still, I try to toe the line. But yeah, if you look at it, you've got a ham radio license, and you go on vacation with 3 people that don't have a ham radio license, all your radios are useless. But if you got a GMRS license, you got that programmed into all your Baofengs and your TYTs and your radiodities. Well, and even in most cases, you can put them into the better radios too. And you can go ahead and just hand those radios out, and people can use them, and you don't have to worry about being able to get in contact with everybody. And because it's GMRS, you can go higher with the wattage. You can buy the full 10 watt or 11 watt, the UV25 or UV17, one of those higher watt radios, and you'll get the power of the full 10 or 11 watt radio on GMRS. Even a lot of those radios, like my UV25, still puts out 9 watts on GMRS. So that's not bad. You hook that to a roof speaker and you're doing pretty good, or a roof antenna, and you're doing pretty good. Okay. Yes, MERS. MERS is another one. Technically, you could use that, no problem. I don't believe it's pretty much not regulated. Yeah. MERS is the multi-use radio service, I believe is what it's called, MURS, multi-use radio service. And it's like the GMRS, which is the general mobile radio service, I believe. I hope I'm getting all these right. And FRS stands for the Family Radio Service. Earthview. I wonder what the hell they do. All right, I'm going to be signing off here in about 15 minutes. I'm going to be destinating, and I have just enough time to run by my house and get something to eat real quick. I really don't, but I need to. Yep. I got to try to do some promos today, man. I try to do local promos for my show, but all we've been talking about is national politics for a week now, and because of the Charlie Kirk thing, and so yeah, I'm having a real problem with finding stuff for our local promos. See, we try to do local promos for our local shows because that's what makes them special, but sometimes we end up doing national all day on there anyway, but it's still a local show, and sometimes we do all local stuff on there if that's what's going on. A lot of people like a local radio because they know that the information is more relevant to them. If you're listening to a show that's produced out of California or New York, they're not really going to align with your thinking as well, and it's just not going to be. A lot of people don't like that experience. So what they do, a lot of people, they won't tune in during Sean Hannity or the man that used to be the best that ever did it, and that was Rush Limbaugh. A lot of people won't tune in to Glenn Beck or any of these guys, Mark Levin. because they don't care about the national as much as they want to hear what's going on locally. And so we try very hard to provide a pretty good cross-cut of national, state, and local. You know, we even try 33, 33, 33. It never works out that way, but that's what we try, because we really want to do a lot of local, because that's what keeps the local people coming back on local radio. Yeah, Heath, I agree. There's been a bunch of HF nets over the years. A lot of them have come and gone, unfortunately. The problem with HF nets is if you do it in the evening, you're somewhere between 20 meters and 40 meters. And so you're going to have to pick either the day band or the night band. The other problem with it is when you go to do it, if you have bad conditions, if you have a solar storm going on and a solar flux of 6 or 7, you won't hear anybody, and it'll be a complete waste. Conversely, you could go on one night and have really good propagation, and we could actually get people coming in from all over the world. So yeah, I'm interested. I could even do something like that in conjunction with the internet. Even if we did one night a week, we did ham radio night, and we went on and tried to hear if we could hear each other on the radio or something. I'm up for that. I can get on just about any frequency. I have most antennas up already. I'm doing real good right now at VHF, UHF, 6 meters, 10 meters, and I've got a 20 meter wire. When you get up to 40, I get a little challenged because I don't have anything quite that long. Voice on 30, that's fine, but my radios won't talk on 30, so you're not. If you go to 30, it's an oddball band, and most of the older radios will not do 30. So that's the problem with 30. Besides, 30 is very restrictive on power. It's restrictive on where you can go in the band and things like that, I believe. 30 is a good band if you're wanting to do it in the early evening. That's right, perfect time for that band. However, you're going to lose a lot of people like me that have 15-year-old radios, because 30 is a fairly new thing. I don't believe either one of my radios do 30. I used to do a lot of radio stuff with the net. We used to have the Friday night tech net, and I would Zoom people in, and then we would go on and I would work FT8 live with the grid tracker and everything. I'd have it all split around the screen so you could see everything that's going on. And I'd sit there and I would hunt, or I would, whatever. I'd call CQ. And it was fun. A lot of people learned from me how to use FT4, FT8. We used to do some operating too, where we would actually go on and you could see the front of my radio and you could see me, and I'd have propagation maps and stuff up, and we could see, we'd have dates and times where people try to contact each other. I'm up for all that kind of stuff, dude. We just have to make it work. No, I don't do digital voice, and I don't do CW. Nope. I won't do CW. I can't do CW. I'm dyslexic. CW kept me out of ham radio for decades, and so I get really pissed off about CW. I just don't like it because of the fact that I can't do it, and because I'm dyslexic, and because of that, it's kept me out of ham radio for many, many years. And then I went many years not realizing that requirement was gone and that I could get my license anytime, but I didn't know. And then one day, My son-in-law comes home with a Baofeng radio. And I'm like, oh my God. So I started reading. What can I do with a Baofeng radio? They're only $30. What can I do with it? And it's like ham radio. And so I'm like, well, I want to do ham radio, but I can't. And it said right on there, there is no such thing as a code test anymore. See, years ago, you had to do the code to get any kind of amateur radio license. Then they went with the no code tech. And you could go in and get your tech license only, but it was very restrictive where you were allowed to operate and how you were allowed to operate. And then finally, it's the way it is today. They've kind of made that element like at the end instead of towards the beginning of the whole process.